So, welcome to the very first CA Coaching video podcast where we answer your parenting questions. Each month we're going to upload a new podcast where we take the questions that we've been sent in by parents to info@cacoaching.ie and answer them as best that we can. And we make a promise that we will answer every single one if we can, and if not, we will get back to you with an answer via email. So the best thing to do is just get stuck right in. The first question we have is, what's the best way to manage my tweens' time on smartphones? I suppose this is such a relatively new issue for parents where children are getting mobile phones younger and younger. Some as young as 7 and 8 are walking around with their phones. And for parents, they haven't really got to grips with what it takes to set parental controls and to have a discussion with your children around safety, because I suppose the reality is mobile phones now are a mini computer, so your child can access the internet anywhere, and it's important for you as a parent to take an active role in talking with your child around what is safety online, and what is, online bullying. And, if somebody tries to contact you online via your phone, they may not be who they say they are. The picture may not be who they actually are. So I suppose it is very much up to the parent, around how you feel comfortable enough with your child having a phone. Some parents feel that their children are off doing sports and activities and stuff like that, and it's important for them to have a phone, and that's absolutely fine. Others feel that, maybe secondary school is a good marker for their child to get their very first phone. But the important thing is that we don't just look at it as a phone. We look at it that it is a mini computer. That when children were bullied years and years and years ago, generally when they came in the front door, the bullying stopped. But with mobile phones now, that bullying can go on. And recent statistics here in Ireland have shown that bullying via phones and texts among teenagers is on the rise. So it is a real issue for parents, and it's not something that we all want to be thinking about or talking about, but it is a real issue and it is something that we need to address. So on our website cacoaching.ie, we do have a section on online safety and some tips for parents on how to talk to their children around online safety. But in general, it's going to be around, does your child really need to have a mobile phone with them? If you're picking them up after sports or school or activities or off the bus, do they really need to have a phone? If you feel they do, that's fine. But, if you sit back and have a think about it, is this what my child needs? And what else does it bring into my child's life? Then it's important for you to really decide whether or not it's something you want to do. So it really is up to the parent. But do think about all the options and read up. Read our blog on cacoaching.ie. Read up around what other tips are around for parents to kind of have that discussion with their parents, because no matter what we talk about on our parenting programs, the core is all about communication with our children. Letting our child know that we're there for them, that they can talk to us if they feel that there is an issue, and that we don't react necessarily the way we just want to react, that we take on board that maybe their feelings are important and maybe they want to just be heard sometimes. So have a read and see how you feel yourself. Okay, next question we have is, how do I help my 7-year-old not get so worked up when he's playing games on the tablet and the games console? Again, this is another newish issue for parents where, from adults right down to young children, they're playing games, be it an application on a phone, be it on a tablet, be it on a games console. What I would say is that if you find that your child is getting very frustrated and angry and aggressive, maybe it's something you need to look at. Maybe you need to start seeing, is my child spending too much time? Are they investing too much time and effort into playing this game? Because if they are at a point where the game is controlling their emotions, then maybe it is time to cut it back, and it's something easily done. So you don't have to all of a sudden just go, that's it, no more. But you can reduce the time. You can keep an eye on the time. Yes, it's work for you as a parent, but it is important for you to do it, because your child needs to know that there has to be boundaries around playing these games. So sit down, look at it, are they spending, more than an hour a day on a games console? Maybe that's just too much. If they have a games console in their bedroom on their TV, you don't know how much they're playing. When you go to bed at night, they may be playing for an extra hour or two. A lot of teenagers we work with would say that they struggle with their sleep pattern, but they're not going to sleep until 1, 2 a.m. because they're playing these games, and then they wonder, and their parents wonder why they struggle to get up in the morning. It's because they're not getting a proper night's sleep, when all research shows that teenagers need more sleep than anybody else. So it is something that you need to look at, but do have the discussion with your child. Explain to them that we feel that because you're getting so worked up about it, we do need to reduce your time, and start from there. And then again, really think about, should my child have free access to a games console? Should they just be able to come in, go up to their room and spend 2-3 hours? Some parents feel that at least they know where they are, and that may be of comfort to them. But is your child getting enough exercise? Is your child getting enough stimulation outside? Spending time with people and friends and stuff like that. So, really do look at the time that they're spent, and it might be worth reducing that time. Right, let's see what else we got. At what age do you feel it is appropriate for teens to start dating? Again, another tough one, and does come down to very much as a parent what your values are, and how you feel that your child is mature enough to deal with a relationship. Some parents feel that 12, 13 it's kind of cute, and it may well be, and others feel that maybe 17, 18 is something more appropriate in terms of dating. But I do think what it does bring up is that it's important for you to have a conversation with your child around relationships and what's appropriate in a relationship, what kind of behaviour, how to be treated, are you being respected in relationship. These are all really important, and I think we can brush off children's relationships or teenagers' relationships as, oh sure, it's just a teenage crush, but to your child it is the most important thing in the world. So I do think it's important to talk about appropriate behaviour, and then you can start to talk about, again, bringing in mobile phones, talk about, if somebody's taking photographs of you, they can go anywhere, and think about your own safety. And very much when it comes to relationships, it's about respect. And I'm a true believer, if we can teach our children anything, it's about teaching them self-respect, to have respect for themselves and for others. Because if they have self-respect, then they are set in terms of what's going to be acceptable to them and how they're going to accept being treated. So it is about discussing it, looking at the child's maturity, and then maybe getting in touch with the parent of the other person that they may want to go on a date with, and get to know them. You can chaperone them, stand in the background. Yes, it's going to be embarrassing for your child, but that's just a part of life, and it lets your child know that you care enough about them, and they'll respect it in later years. So have a think about what you feel is appropriate, and don't feel pressure from other people, and from your child, because teenagers are great at throwing out, but everyone else has one and everyone else is allowed to do it, and that's a big pressure for parents. But you don't have to give in to that pressure. All you can do is worry about your child. So think about it, discuss it with your partner if there's one there. If not, get a feel for how you honestly think that your child is ready or not. And that's it for this podcast. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. If you want to get your parenting questions answered, just email me at info@cacoaching.ie, and we'll get as many questions answered over the next few months on our monthly podcasts. Thanks again. See you next time.